The campfire crackled, shadows danced. We huddled closer, eager for a story, a scary story. There's something about fear that draws us in. It's a thrill, a rush, a reminder of our own vulnerability. Scary stories tap into our primal instincts, the fear of the unknown, the fear of the dark. They linger in our minds long after the story is over, like a whisper in the dead of night. Some stories are just stories, fabrications designed to frighten. Others, however, are rooted in reality. They are whispers of events so terrifying, so inexplicable, that they transcend the boundaries of fiction. These are the stories that truly chill us to the bone, for they remind us that the line between our world and the world of the unknown is thin indeed. These stories, both real and imagined, stay with us. They lodge themselves in our minds, resurfacing when we least expect it. A creaking door in the middle of the night, a sudden chill in the air. They serve as a reminder that the world is a place of both wonder and terror, and sometimes the two are indistinguishable. A lone car sped down the desolate highway, its headlights cutting through the inky darkness. Rain lashed against the windshield, blurring the world outside and creating a symphony of relentless drumming. Inside, a man drove, his knuckles white on the steering wheel, gripping it as if it were his lifeline. He had been driving for hours, desperate to reach his destination. The Red Room, where walls whisper. An abandoned house stood on a hill overlooking the town, its windows dark and empty, like eyes that had seen too much. Locals whispered tales of it being haunted, a place where darkness lingered and evil whispered. They spoke of strange noises and ghostly apparitions. It stood as a testament to the horrors that man and nature together could create. The house seemed to breathe, its walls alive with secrets. One night, a group of teenagers, eager to prove their bravery, decided to explore the house. They had heard the stories but dismissed them as mere legends. They entered the house, their laughter echoing in the silence. The air inside was thick, almost suffocating. The air grew heavy, filled with the scent of decay and something else, something cold and menacing. It was as if the house was watching them. They reached a room at the end of the hall, their footsteps echoing ominously. The door creaked open, revealing a room bathed in an eerie red light. The light seemed to pulse, almost like a heartbeat. The teenagers stepped inside, their laughter dying in their throats. The room felt alive, as if it was aware of their presence. The red light pulsed, casting grotesque shadows on the walls. The shadows seemed to move, to reach out towards them. Whispers seemed to emanate from the walls, whispering their names, their fears. Panic set in as the whispers grew louder, more insistent. They scrambled to leave, but the door wouldn't open. It was as if the house itself was holding them captive. It was as if the house itself was holding them captive. They were trapped, their fear growing with each passing second. They pounded on the door, their cries for help swallowed by the oppressive silence of the house. Hours passed. The red light pulsed. The whispers intensified, becoming almost deafening. Then, as abruptly as it began, the red light vanished. The door swung open, as if the house had decided to let them go. The teenagers, their faces pale with terror, stumbled out of the house and ran into the night, forever marked by their encounter with the Red Room. They could still hear the whispers in their minds. They never spoke of what they experienced that night, but the memory lingered, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lies hidden beneath the surface of the ordinary. The house on the hill remained, a silent sentinel to their fear. The cursed doll. A child's best friend? A little girl received a beautiful porcelain doll as a gift on her birthday. The doll had rosy cheeks, bright blue eyes that seemed to follow her every move, and a sweet smile stitched onto its porcelain face. The girl named the doll Emily and took it everywhere with her, from the garden to her bedroom. But soon strange things began to happen around the house. Objects would move around the house seemingly by themselves, often ending up in places they shouldn't be. Whispers and giggles echoed from the girl's room at night, sending chills down the spine of anyone who heard them. The girl's parents dismissed it as an overactive imagination, thinking it was just a phase. One day the girl came running to her parents, her face pale with terror, her hands trembling. "Emily is talking," she cried, her voice shaking. "She said she doesn't like you," she whispered, her eyes wide with fear. The parents tried to calm their daughter, but they couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right, that there was more to the doll than met the eye. That night the father decided to investigate the source of his daughter's fear. He crept into his daughter's room, his heart pounding in his chest. The doll sat perched on the edge of the bed, its blue eyes staring unblinkingly, its smile cold and menacing. He reached out to touch the doll, and as his fingers brushed against its cold porcelain skin, he heard a voice, low and guttural, whisper, "Get out!" He stumbled back in fear, knocking the doll to the floor with a loud thud. The doll's head snapped off, revealing a cavity filled with a strange, pulsating substance that seemed almost alive. The parents, horrified, immediately disposed of the doll, but the events of that night continued to haunt them. A chilling reminder that some toys are best left untouched, and some mysteries are better left unsolved. The hookman lurking in the shadows. Teenagers dared each other to drive to the Lover's Lane, a secluded spot outside of town, rumoured to be haunted by the hookman. Legend had it that he was a hulking figure with a hook for a hand who preyed on unsuspecting couples. One night, a young couple, emboldened by their love and a healthy dose of teenage bravado, decided to tempt fate. They parked their car in the Lover's Lane, the windows fogging up with their laughter and whispered secrets. The radio crackled with static and a news report broke through, announcing that a dangerous criminal, known for his hook hand, had escaped from the nearby asylum. Fear crept in, replacing their laughter with nervous silence. The boyfriend, trying to appear brave, assured his girlfriend it was just a story. Suddenly, a thump on the roof of the car sent them both jumping in their seats. The boyfriend, his heart pounding, slowly got out of the car to investigate. He walked around the car, finding nothing. Relieved, he turned to reassure his girlfriend, but his words died in his throat. Hanging from the passenger side door handle was a rusty hook. The power of fear. Fear. It's a primal instinct, a visceral reaction to danger, both real and imagined. Scary stories tap into this instinct, reminding us of our own mortality, our vulnerability in a world that can often feel dark and unpredictable. These stories, whether whispered around a campfire or read in the dead of night, stay with us long after the pages are closed. The embers have died down. They linger in the shadows of our minds, resurfacing when we least expect it. A creaking door, a sudden chill, a glimpse of movement in the periphery of our vision. They remind us that the world is a place of both wonder and terror, and sometimes the line between the two is razor thin.